3 most vital parables. Responsibility. 2 families lived next door. In one of them the spouses constantly quarreled and sorted out the relationship, and in the other there was always love, mutual understanding, and silence. The obstinate hostess could not understand how the neighbors managed to live without scandals. In her heart, she envied them. One day, a woman asked her husband to follow the neighbors and find out why everything was going smoothly in their lives. The man went to the neighbor's window and carefully looked into the house. In the room he saw the hostess. She was dusting. At that moment, the phone rang and the woman hurriedly put an expensive vase on the edge of the table. A few minutes later her husband entered the room. He did not notice the vase and hooked it. The expensive thing fell to the floor and crumbled into pieces. And then the neighbor thought, well, a scandal is about to begin. But to his surprise, the woman approached her husband and calmly said, "I'm sorry, honey, it's my fault that I put the vase carelessly." To which the spouse replied, "I'm sorry, it's my fault that I didn't notice her." The neighbor returned home upset. His wife asks him about the secret of family well-being, and her husband answers her, "You see, the whole point is that everyone in their family is to blame, and everyone is right with us." Do you want to live happily? Don't blame anyone, take full responsibility for all your actions, only you are to blame for what happened. The more a person has a sense of responsibility, the fewer problems and conflicts he has. The Traveler. An old man was sitting at the gates of the city. A traveler approached him. It was clear that the young man had come from afar. "I've never been to these places. Tell me, Grandpa, what kind of people live in this city?" The young man asked the old man, "And what kind of people lived in the city that you left?" The old man asked him. "They were evil and selfish people and I left them without regret." "Here you will meet the same," the old man replied. Some time later, another traveler approached the old man and asked the same question. "Tell me, good man, what kind of people live in this city? I've just arrived and I don't know the local customs." The old man again answered the question with a question, "And what kind of people lived in the city where did you come from?" "They were wonderful people, kind and hospitable, many became my friends and it was not easy for me to leave them." Will you find the same here? A merchant who was trading at the gates of the city heard both conversations and turned to the old man in perplexity. "How is it that you gave 2 people completely different answers to the same question?" Everyone has their own world in their heart. If someone has not found anything good where they came from, they will not find it here either. It all depends not on the place, but on the person himself. Everyone sees in others what they carry in themselves. The more good there is in a person, the less bad he sees. Everyone sees what they want to see, hears what they want to hear, believes what they want to believe. A burden. An old wise monk and his young novice were returning from a long journey to their monastery. It was a long way to go. They approach a familiar river, but that one was very much washed away due to heavy rains. The current was fast and strong. While they were preparing to cross the river, a very beautiful young girl came up to the river, who also wanted to cross the river, but was afraid. She asked the monks to help her. The young novice understands that this is forbidden. The scriptures forbid monks to even touch a woman. But suddenly, without saying a word, the old monk took the girl on his shoulders and carried her to the other side, and then continued on his way as if nothing had happened. The young novice does not believe his eyes. He is speechless. How could his teacher break the monastic rules? He quickly crossed the river after the teacher, caught up with him, wanted to ask about the incident, but did not dare. And so they walk in silence for an hour, go for a second, and the young novice does not find a place for himself, all the time thinking about that situation by the river. Night came, they stopped for the night. The teacher fell asleep, and the student has insomnia. The situation with the girl does not get out of his head in any way. The next day, there is no longer any strength to restrain himself, an angry and sleepy novice exclaims, "How could you do that? What are you talking about?" The old man replied, "What's that about? Have you forgotten? You were carrying a beautiful girl on your shoulders yesterday, and we are forbidden to do that. And that's what you're talking about." The wise monk laughed. "I carried this girl for 1 minute, and you're still carrying her. All the problems are only in your head. You will keep them in your head for a few minutes, it's okay. You will think about them for hours, you will start to feel pain, and if you think about them for days on end, it will begin to paralyze you and you will not be able to do anything else. It's not the problem itself that matters, but what you think about the problem. Imagination is man's greatest enemy and greatest friend. Use it correctly.